6 takedowns on Derrick Lewis. Same game plan that has applied for a Jairzinho Rozenstruik, for a Shamil Abdurakhimov. Same game plan for all of these guys. It's get in their face, surprise them with a strike, maybe a push kick, shoot in for the double. Once you take them down, you get to their back, you get to mount, and you just switch back and forth until either you finish the fight or 25 minutes has now played out, and that's what happened. Takeaways here, AJ. A lot of people are down on Jailton Almeida after this performance, but I think that it's domination nonetheless. At the end of the day, 6 takedowns, 4 submission attempts, massive amounts of control time. Jailton Almeida looks like a real heavyweight here. What do you think?
I think you're only down on Jailton Almeida in this fight if you've never experienced the power of a heavyweight being in there or somebody who can actually crack, and all it takes is one. I think that was a perfect, arguably perfect performance from Jailton Almeida. There was a couple moments where, Derrick Lewis really, but he had people on the edge of their seats. But if you're scoffing at the Jailton Almeida performance, you're just not really ever sure on how, or I guess you've never experienced what kind of real power feels like. I think he had the smartest performance possible. You don't want to go in there and just leave a little sliver of life for Derrick Lewis to have, because he's going to take it. And we even saw that being into effect the second and third rounds when he's almost stopping the takedown. But I won't lie to you, Derek, this was one of those fights that had me rooting for the opposite guy. Obviously picked Jailton Almeida to win, but damn it, did I want to see Derrick Lewis just stand up and keep this fight on his feet. What do you think, Derek? Was it flawless? Did it need some improvements? Where can Jailton Almeida go after this fight?
I think if you're looking at path of least resistance, Jailton Almeida took it. He ran with the path of least resistance. Now, he did get to a couple of spots where I thought he was kind of playing with his food in the mounted position. And I could tell you, folks, from like a jiu-jitsu perspective, it is a little bit difficult when you're, I don't want to say rolling because they're fighting. This is MMA, right? But when you are with somebody who is such a large weight differential, they can legitimately toss you on over them when you're in a mounted position, unless you have full security of that spot. So you do have to do a little bit of lay and pray, and you have to take into consideration. Don't you think the onus is a little bit more on Derrick Lewis for having urgency to get back to his feet, as opposed to Jailton Almeida just kind of laying out doing nothing? Because if you're a hard guy to submit and you just chill in like a turtle position in jiu-jitsu, you got a couple of options, but they have to do something to give you an option to counter. He did a couple times. Lewis did get back to his feet a couple times, but that just goes into the dominance of Jailton Almeida. So I don't think it was flawless, but I thought it was uber dominant. I thought there's nothing to hang your head on this performance. And I think the most important lesson that we had to take away from here is that even if he needed to do a little bit of work on the feet, Jailton Almeida is not a fish out of water. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%, man. He looked, especially with seeing how Derrick Lewis was acting and reacting to what Jailton Almeida was presenting, he knew instantly when to shoot in. He knew how to get to the hips. He knew how to get this fight to where he needed it to be. I take nothing bad away from Jailton Almeida in this fight. I thought he did it smart and precise, which I really, really liked.
I thought one thing that was really interesting is that he saw that uppercut coming a mile away from Derrick Lewis time and time again. So what he did is he feints the takedown, draws out the uppercut, and then once he actually shoots for the takedown and that uppercut comes, he kind of circles around the uppercut, gets to the legs, turns them, classic single to doubles. All day long, single leg, transition to a double leg, pass over the guard, and then just fucking do your work, man. So this was a beautiful performance by Jailton Almeida. The biggest real surprise here was we said smash minus 1.5 or under 1.5 rounds. We said smash that all day long because he gets Lewis out of there. A lot of people thought this is just a payday for Derrick Lewis, short notice, but listen. 5 hard rounds in heavyweight plus 1,600 cashes for the decision. AJ, over and under, how many people you think actually had a decision prop going out there, a real ticket for plus 1,600 on Jailton Almeida? I'm going to say over under 5. What are you giving it?
I'm taking the under, Derek. I was willing to say over under 3, and I would still take the under because that is wild, man. When you have the announcers calling for it, you got everybody on Twitter calling and say, post that ticket if you did go to 5. Man, I think it was very small. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely say maybe we're hitting a push on 5 or under for sure right there. But I think, man, this is just surprising. And this is the thing that makes you allude to the future, where now you have to say, okay, well, if you fight a Tom Aspinall, you fight a Sergey Pavlovich, you fight these dudes, are we banking on a guy who is either finishing the first round or has to drag out 25 minutes of a long, hard-fought fight? Because a lot of things can happen over the course of 25 minutes, as we've seen time and time again. And this gives a little bit of pause into the immediate championship rise of a Jailton Almeida. So confidence level, 1 to 10. Jailton Almeida's style, his one-dimensional style, which is incredibly effective, can that win and retain a championship in the heavyweight division for him?
Ooh, confidence level 1 to 10. I won't, I'll be completely transparent with you folks. My confidence level dropped a little bit in this because of the fact that if he is stopped, then what happens? The questions are still unanswered. If he's able to get, a takedown shut down or, have the defense put against him, I'd say it's about a 6 right now. Derrick, what about you?
I wouldn't say that my confidence level of him soured whatsoever, but I would say when it comes down to the question, which is getting a title and retaining it, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'd be about at like a 7 or so right now, just because he looked real tired, man, and it makes sense. Derrick Lewis is a big man, so the more big men come in there, 25 minutes is a long time. Either way, man, Jailton Almeida, is he the new, headliner of the division? Is he still that unanswered question? We don't know. That's the answer for you. Sorry, folks.